Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sheep Esports live stream. I am Germ here. I'm going to be your host today. We have plenty of off-season stories to go through with some of our awesome team and reporters here. Obviously, you can see on the screen we have some very special guests joining us today. We have Alejandro. Say what's up to the people.
Hello. Could be better, but good. I'm not going to lie. I had luck, so yeah, good for me.
Hey, there we go. Hopefully we have some cool stuff to present to the people today. And then, of course, we have LEC Wooloo joining us as well. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing really good, but obviously not the best day for everyone, sadly, because for those who like the context, Alejandro is from Valencia, where a lot of people have died due to the flood. So I want to send people in the region a lot of strength with this disaster. But other than that, tonight we have a lot of information, hopefully to cheer you up.
Yeah, of course. Definitely hearts out to everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Stay as safe as possible. We're definitely all thinking about you guys. And yeah, like you said, we have plenty of fun stuff to talk about today. Some cool stuff that I'm sure people have been very anticipated for and waiting for. And I'm definitely excited that we can start to bring you guys some of this big offseason news because the LEC offseason has already been crazy, but we do know we have a couple of those slots left in to fill. And after the show today, we're going to be pretty close to filling everything in, I do think. So that is pretty exciting. Before we get too crazy, before we start getting into stuff, I definitely wanted to mention Holy really quick. Of course, everything we're doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of the year is powered by Holy. They're great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition, so that's awesome. I've seen a lot of people talking about Holy on social medias because I do think we're doing a really good job of spreading the word and kind of getting the awareness out there. I see a lot of people being like, oh, is Holy actually good? Should I try it out? Whatever. And guys, I promise that asking some anime profile pic on Twitter or whatever, whether Holy is good or not, that's not the way to go about it. You guys should try it out for yourselves. That's why we have the discount codes. Use SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. We're making it a cheaper way for you guys to actually try this stuff out yourselves, so you should definitely do that. Thank you so much to Holy, and it's an awesome way to help support us and everything we're doing. So wanted to get that out of the way real quick. We're drinking Holy. We like it. It's part of my morning routine and everything now. It's how I'm starting the days, so I can definitely advocate for that. With that being said, we have plenty of stuff to get into. I know there has been a lot of people patiently waiting for some LCS stuff. LCS fans have kind of been left on the sidelines a little bit, people wondering when we're going to start getting that news. And I'm glad we had some big announcements as far as the format changes, the rebranding, all of that good stuff. But I think we also have a scoop for us today that I wanted to let Alejandro start off and see what we have going on over in the LCS.
Okay, the report is being published right now. So right now, the first news of the day is that Swifer, the head coach of SK Gaming, former head coach, is going to Team Liquid as assistant coach. And yeah, that's the news. As far as I know, owner will be the head coach, and Mauro, as we reported before, is going to be the assistant coach for SK Gaming.
Yeah, so I'm glad we could get some big news started off there. Obviously, that should be hopefully an exciting pickup. I think fans will hopefully be excited about that. We'll see how that one ends up working out. That is a little bit of news we have there. And it's actually interesting. I know we were talking a little bit about the SK connection there with that. We'll definitely hopefully get to some more LCS discussions and LCS topics here in a little bit as well. But kind of piggybacking off of that and using that connection with SK Gaming, I think we have some more SK Gaming news as well. So what do we have to talk about in terms of that?
Maybe we can talk a little bit about Team Liquid first, if you don't mind, Jam.
Okay,
because
no, I didn't know if we had more, or if you guys wanted to go any deeper into it.
No. I think that's a good link to make indeed, because Swiffer is the old coach of SK Gaming, but I'm not ready with my tweet yet about the new SK news. Okay. Just no, you did well. It's my fault. But yeah, just to give some context, Swiffer stayed many years at SK Gaming into LEC. He will be going to the LCS now. I don't think SK Gaming changed the head coach because Swiffer is per se a bad head coach. I don't really know, but what I know is that Team Liquid, we were asked a lot if they will make changes, and they are making at least one change, which is Swiffer joining us as assistant coach. A lot of you probably still remember Team Liquid from their Worlds run recently. So yes, it will be interesting to see if Swiffer can be a good addition to the team.
Yeah. Now that I tweeted, sorry for being brief.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I was like, I didn't know if you had anything more to say or if there was.
No, I was tweeting.
I know
Sorry.
he was
So
locked in.
basically, as far I know, Regnover was the assistant coach of Team Liquid. I think his future is uncertain. Like he can stay at Team Liquid. We will see what happens. He's also trying to find opportunities in LEC and LCS, but I think it's going to be difficult, to be honest. And yeah, at the start of the season, SK decided to give the power to Owner. Owner was the assistant coach of SK, and he was basically the one who decided the moves. I mean, also the management, of course, of SK, but that's the information I have.
Yeah, I think the LCS stuff is going to be really, really interesting to see, you know, how Team Liquid is able to bounce back after they were a really strong team throughout the whole year. But then later on in the season, you know, FlyQuest kind of overtook them, obviously winning the championship and then having the success they had at Worlds and all that stuff. So it will definitely be interesting to see how Team Liquid's able to bounce back next year. We obviously have all these format changes and stuff we've been talking about recently. It's going to be a crazy time to see how the coaching staffs come in and are able to get their teams ready for Fearless Draft and all these different formats, and then also having to compete with some new players and organizations and faces, and bringing in some of that LLA talent and the South American talent. There's just so many question marks right now. So I think the coaching staffs definitely have some interesting and hard work ahead for them. And yeah, getting the right coaching staff and management and everything in place is probably going to be a really big thing for teams having success like right off the bat in 2025. So it'll be cool to see how Team Liquid's able to do in that regard, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Alejandro, do you know if the head coach of Team Liquid is staying?
To be full honest with you, I didn't check it yet. So could be. I have no idea.
Okay. But to be honest, I'm expecting that Spawn is staying.
Yeah.
At least I haven't heard that it changes.
Yeah, I think that's something
I
that
don't
fans.
have it confirmed.
I think that's something that fans would be excited about and ready to see, because I know a lot of people were saying, like, with some of those videos and stuff they posted about, like, how he was talking with the team and talking with Core JJ and stuff, like, maybe some people got a little bit mad or upset and it rubbed some people the wrong way, but I think a lot of people were excited, like, oh, Spawn is like this actually strong personality, strong head coach. Like, yeah, the season didn't end necessarily how they would have wanted, but I think my sense overall is that a lot of LCS fans and TL fans wanted to see Spawn back next year, and we're kind of happy with the job he had been doing overall.
Definitely.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, so that's some exciting news. Obviously, if we do have any, you know, other changes coming to Team Liquid or anything like that, hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you guys. I know we're still kind of working behind the scenes, trying to figure some of that stuff out. Obviously, like we said, the LCS stuff in the LCS offseason has not been as advanced or as going forward as some of the LEC stuff, where we've had all kinds of changes, but definitely be expecting that stuff, especially as Worlds is wrapping up this weekend as well. I think over the next couple of weeks, there'll probably be a lot more LCS news and getting some of that stuff finalized, which will be exciting.
Yeah, I expect.
But I also
go.
Oh, go on, Alejandro.
No, I expect next week to start to move fast. The LCS, or well, the new name that they have, but yeah, I feel they are moving slower because the league didn't have the confirmation from the league since some weeks ago that the teams were joining or staying. So that's why they didn't start that fast. And also the budget is not that big this year, as far as I know, for the LCS team. So that's why they are slower than the LEC teams in off season. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's also the new teams have only been confirmed a few days ago, and were not able to even reach verbal agreements officially with players before that. So those teams couldn't make any moves. But now that it's announced, we saw it, for example, with Rainbow Seven, who now renamed to Lion Gaming. They have Licorice in their team. They have Saints into mid lane. We reported both of those. We also reported Abadaga to TSG. So now things have started to get rolling, and we should get a lot more LCS news over the weekend or next week. So yeah, I think things will start moving very quickly now for LCS.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting, and honestly, some of the moves we've already seen coming in, even though things are taking a little bit longer, and even if budgets are down and stuff, some of those pickups are exciting. You know, seeing Abadage come in, seeing Saint come in, like I think some people are actually kind of surprised by some of the names we're seeing over when we heard there's going to be budget cuts and maybe the league won't be as exciting and all that stuff. I still think there's been some big pickups. If there's more to come still in that LCS offseason or LTAN or whatever we're calling it, I think it's actually pretty cool because there's still a lot of talented players actually without teams right now. Especially if we're talking about imports and LCK challengers players and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely room for the LCS to still make some big splashes, which I think is pretty exciting and pretty cool.
Yeah, and also it's still a struggle. I even feel it in this discussion, but like now the southern part of the LCS, the LTA is part of the league now, so there will be a lot of interesting moves there too. We have seen Trimby going to the LTA in the south. So yeah, I think both the southern and northern part of the LTA are starting the off season now. We have seen it yesterday, and it's possible that we see players from North America go to the south, or vice versa, simply because there is also this new rule that you can have one player from the other region for free without using an import spot. So both regions can kinda benefit from each other while keeping their identity, and both off seasons will be strongly correlated because of that.
Yeah, no, I do think that was something cool that I talked about in one of the videos yesterday. The fact that there is that new import rule, and that definitely will hopefully present some new big opportunities for some of these LCS players and for some of those South American players as well. I know, obviously, with the league kind of condensing, we're worried that some players are going to end up without a team or without a spot or whatever. But that is a cool, nice little rule, and it also makes it, I think, in some ways easier to import, like we saw with Trimby coming over, even some of those European players and stuff like that, because you can still grab a South American player and still be able to get two of those other imports and stuff as well. So I think it is going to make roster building very interesting. And then we'll get to see, obviously, the South and North American teams matching up against each other as well, which is going to create rivalries and trash talk. We'll get to see, if some of those South American players end up being better, if the North American players end up being better, what the kind of division there is. That'll be really cool. I think not only for this year, but hopefully for the future as well, as we get into like maybe year 2, year 3 of this whole thing.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that now the LTA South is a tier 1 region, which means they have those world spots. It's possible that 2 teams from the region qualify to Worlds. Most likely there won't be play-ins anymore. So it also comes with the value of being actually a main region now on the globe.
Yeah, I know. I saw when we were talking about the formats and stuff yesterday too, that even like for MSI, like one northern team and one southern team is going to get slotted into MSI and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I know some NA fans might be disappointed they're not getting 3 teams and stuff like that anymore, but it is supposed to be this one cohesive region, obviously, and it'll also be interesting to see what teams end up doing better internationally. And I'm sure hopefully it'll lead to bigger fan bases, more audience, more stuff like that, which will be cool. I think I'm excited about these changes. I think it could be a really, really cool thing, but obviously it's only going to be as good as, if the fans are getting involved, but also if the teams are getting involved as well. I mean, if the teams are making exciting pickups, if they're showing up at international events and doing well, if they're giving us reasons to be excited, that'll really help this whole thing, I think, go over well. So hopefully year 1 will be good. If we start out, maybe one of our teams make a splash at MSI or something like that, that could make this whole thing a lot cooler.
Yeah. Are you ready, Ulu?
Yeah, definitely. I think we finished the points about LTA, and we can now start talking about the LEC and as Jerm said, with SK Gaming, because we have some changes there.
I'm good. It might be a little bit leaked already. It might have already been put out, but yeah, we have some shifting over to the LEC stuff. Like we said, that connection between SK Gaming, Team Liquid, the LEC, the LCS coming together, all that stuff. We had some news for TL. We had some news for the LCS. Hopping over to the LEC side of things, SK, again, like I said, we only have a couple slots open in the LEC for players, SK bot lane being one of those. What news can you tell us about the SK bot lane?
So I
don't
think
chat right now.
Wait, it's been leaked already?
Well, we showed it on stream on accident for a second when we transitioned over.
Ah,
No, but only Rahel. Only Rahel.
Okay. Then everything is good, guys. Everything is good because okay, yes, Rahel is staying in SK Gaming, but that's not the biggest news because SK will have a change into bot lane, which will be into support position. I didn't know that Rahel was already spoiled on the screen, but that's fine. He was still under contract with SK Gaming for 1 more year, but what is my screen doing now? Why is Loopy being spoiled?
Everything's getting leaked. It's okay. Hey, roll with it. What do you got?
I need to get. Wait. I need to get my tweet out.
Yeah. Okay. Technical difficulties. Pause. Time out.
Wait.
All right, Wooloo's gonna get this all separated or sorted out and stuff real quick, but we can keep it rolling. So yeah, for some of that SK stuff, obviously you guys have been able to see it on the screen, some of their bot lane changes and everything. I did think it was funny that because like I have my the stream pulled up on my thing, so yeah, I saw when Rahel got showed earlier and Alejandro saw it too, but. So yeah, when it popped up on the stream, everyone was like, "Oh, I'm shocked! I'm so surprised!" XD. But yeah, no, it was funny. So we'll get this sorted out in a second. And then Wooloo obviously have the full details and everything for us. It's complicated trying to get the tweets and the articles and the YouTube and everything all lined up at the same time. So he's gotta get some work done real quick to get this all sorted out. But hopefully we'll be able to smooth this out and he'll give us some of the spicy details.
Yeah. Okay. So just to start to talk about this, SK did tryouts with European players also in bot lane. But they finally decided to go with this. Probably Wooloo can explain better later. But yeah, there are really big names that they were trying to get. Finally, they are not going here. So yeah, that's more or less what SK was trying. Loopy is support from Brian, I think. They considered other players from Korea. For example, I think one name is Andil. But yeah, finally they decided Loopy. That's what I have.
Yeah. Okay, I put my news out. Okay. So it's okay.
There we go.
But yeah. I mean, even if SK, I wanted to say keep Rahel, there was a lot of possible changes in the bot lane. As you said, they tried out other ADCs like K2, but most likely Rahel was staying. The big change for SK Gaming is Loopy into support position. Really big news. They at first wanted Jun. They really wanted to contest Jun with GiantX if Jun was leaving from Fnatic, because that was no certainty until very recently. It's only very recently when the news dropped of Jun going to GiantX that it was actually decided that Jun wouldn't stay in Fnatic. So at that moment, SK Gaming had to go on their second option, who was Loopy, because they first wanted Jun, but Loopy made a lot of sense for them for two big reasons. The first one is that last of season, when SK got Rahel and Leon, at first, Loopy was already an option a few months ago.
He was on the list.
Yeah, he was very high on the list. Especially because the second thing is Loopy was the teammate of Rahel in D plus Kia Challengers. So in the end, SK preferred taking another support with Leon, back 10 called Ash Ash. And they have decided now, one split later, to make a change. They went back to their second option of last of season with Loopy and have decided to include Loopy in the roster. So that's done. We saw the tweet earlier. Luon is still exploring options. He has no new team yet, but Loopy will join the SK Gaming roster. This is also the last change for SK Gaming. So maybe we can talk about the completed roster for a little bit too. But yes, that's decided. SK Gaming have three changes total in the roster, with only Isma and Rahel staying. I saw a lot of debates last year which players should stay. Not everyone would have predicted Rahel and Isma being the one staying, but that's the players around which SK are rebuilding this roster.
Yeah, and just wanted to recap, I guess, a little bit for everybody with the changes that they have made. Obviously, with GiantX coming in the top lane and then Reeker coming into the mid lane as well. So that kind of gives us that full SK Gaming lineup. Obviously, kind of an interesting offseason for them. Losing Irrelevant was always going to be a pretty big hit, and kind of going from Irrelevant and Niski as your solo lanes to GiantX and Reeker. There'll be people who have different opinions about that, whether that, is going to be an interesting change for them, whether they'll be able to figure that all out. But it does seem like Loopy could be a pretty exciting pickup as a support, and especially, if he's going to have some nice synergy with Rahel and they're going to be able to make that work. I think SK is maybe a team that people won't be super excited about, but hopefully, Reeker getting his second shot in here, GiantX having some stuff to prove. This could be a team with a chip on their shoulder, which, if some of these changes work out, they can maybe surprise people a little bit. But yeah, I think this was maybe an interesting offseason from them. But yeah, obviously some big changes in the solo lanes, especially that are going to be some question marks, I think, to start off the year at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. No, I was going to say that, as I said in the last stream, the priority of SK Gaming was find a replacement for Niski, I think. When they decided that Niski was not going to continue, they checked the market in the other positions. So they were looking, as Ulu was saying, June. June was a priority for them. Also some players, but we can't say yet. And yeah, Rahel and Loopy, they know each other. I think they ended second on the second division of Korea. So I think they are a good ball lane, to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously that'll be exciting if that bot lane does end up being a strong duo that they will at least have to build around the future. I think Reeker is also a guy that could maybe come in and surprise some people. I know obviously his first stint in the LEC maybe didn't go as well as he would have liked, but I think also there were some fans out there that feel like he maybe deserved a little bit of a longer leash or some more opportunities in the LEC and stuff like that. So him getting some more time in the ERLs and then being able to bounce back, and he has also already had some previous LEC experience, so he's not coming in totally new. I think Reeker might end up being a little bit better than people remember or than people expect as well. So even if SK isn't the strongest team this season, even if they don't compete for playoffs or titles or whatever, even if they just find some bright spots or some spots to build around for the future, I think it still could be a good 2025 for SK, and who knows, maybe they surprise some people. But it does seem like there's some interesting things here. They just need a couple things to go right to maybe have some pieces to really build around for the future. So hopefully there's some things for fans to be excited about, and hopefully some of those players will be able to prove some stuff in 2025. I think it's an interesting offseason.
Yeah, definitely. And this also means that now we only have 3 teams left whose roster is not completed, but this won't be the case after the stream, so we can maybe get to the next team, Jeremy.
Yeah, sounds good. So wrapping up our SK stuff there. Next, we are getting into another breaking story, some more roster talk, some more roster news. This time, we're going over to GiantX, which has been a big kind of topic a lot this offseason. They've been linked to a lot of different players. They've been active on social media, kind of vying for some different players, doing some recruiting and stuff like that. Obviously, they're a popular and exciting team that people are definitely going to be interested in. They have some openings still on their team in the top and in the jungle. So what is the latest on GiantX?
Yeah, so GiantX have found their top laner with a lot of people maybe know him from TLFL, but this is his first time in the LEC. A new player for LEC fans, and this also means that the top lane in LEC is almost completed, with Lot deciding to slot himself in GiantX. Obviously, he could have had a lot of other options, but he decided to join GiantX. The interesting part about this move, which I heard, is that the way GiantX decided on Lot is similar to the way GiantX decided on Jackis last year. So what I mean with this is that GiantX actually use a lot of data and modeling to scout some players, and this is how they found Jackis last year. And some of you probably remember last year, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, who is Jackis? What is this move?" I remember when we posted it on Twitter, everyone was like, "Who is this guy? You know, like he played in the Czech league and now he's coming to LEC. Like we never really saw him in any of the good ERLs." And a big part, I'm not saying they don't interview him, they don't do the other processes, but a big part of it is the data. And it's a move that kind of worked out for Jackis. At least I believe it is the case because Jackis is staying with the team. Next year, a lot of other LEC and LCS teams did think about the possibility of getting Lot, but obviously that would have been hard because he's still under contract. There haven't really been any serious attempts there. But yes, Jack is probably a good pickup for GiantX. They are doing this year the same bet with Lot in the top lane. Lot, who was scouted in a similar way. GiantX used their data, used their modeling, and found Lot as a top laner that stood out. Obviously, they interviewed him, they tried him out a lot, but they have been really convinced by the profile, and he will join the LEC team next year.
Yeah, I mean, about the data, I mean, they bought a new company also to develop this thing. But as far I know, Lot was like the number 1 or 2 in their database. When they analyze the stats, they think Lot was the priority, and all the off season they were thinking to get Lot. I didn't hear other options for top lane. So yeah, that's what said Gulu is completely right. Only jungler is left for Giants. They got the bot lane of Fnatic, and as you probably, I mean, it's not a secret. They need a jungler that is LTR. It has to be from Europe, or at least they have to have the residency. And I think it's going to be done really, really, really soon. Probably this week, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the last piece of GiantX, the jungler, should be decided soon. As you say, next week to latest. I wouldn't be surprised if it's this weekend already, but it will have to be a resident. This weekend? Okay. I think that's possible.
Not 100%, but they
yeah. I mean, most likely very soon. But as you say, it can only be a resident. There are still players available there. Do you want to give any hint, Alejandro?
Well, I am not sure. If I give a hint, maybe I'm wrong right now. Things are moving fast. So
okay.
If you want to say anything, maybe you have more than me, more information.
I mean, one of the options comes from Turkey, but as Alejandro says, things are moving. We have to see who can get into position. I know there are other names too, so yes, remains to be seen. But yeah, it will have to be someone with the EMEA residency.
Yeah, I think some big things to note there. Obviously, when we had put out the news about the Fnatic bot lane going over, that was something that people had talked about because a lot of people had been speculating about Spica coming over or something like that. But obviously, that option kind of got removed once we had Noah and June going over. So then, GiantX going to have to look at some of those other names, or fans are going to have to start speculating about other names and stuff like that. So obviously, it would have been cool in some ways or interesting to see another NA or LCS player or whatever coming over. But now we just have the one with JoJo Pune, but kind of giving an update there for people who are maybe thinking about Spica or wanting Spica or whatever. And then also just talking about the new players with Lot coming over. I think that'll be cool. Hopefully their data, their nerd stats, whatever. Hopefully that stuff pays off because, like you said, Jackie's has been a cool pickup so far. And I think that's cool that they were able to pick up that Fnatic bot lane, having like a reliable and strong duo that's already put together, because I'm sure these more inexperienced players in the solo lanes are going to be volatile. They're going to have some good weeks, some bad weeks, all that stuff. So by picking up a strong bot lane and hopefully not having to worry about those synergies and their performance levels and everything like that, hopefully that'll allow the growth and development and craziness of their solo lanes to kind of do some things there. But of course, the jungler is a big part of getting those solo lanes to work. So who they figure out there is also probably going to determine the future and the development of those solo lanes as well. But seems like a cool pickup to me. Obviously, the future of a lot of stuff is data driven and AI driven and models and all this stuff. So if they are a team that's at the forward thinking of that and able to figure some of these things out before other teams or better than other teams or whatever, that could definitely be a big advantage for GiantX in the future. I'm sure some people will be speculative about how good or bad this stuff is right now, but the results are going to speak for themselves. So this will be an interesting year for GiantX for sure.
Yeah, it's to be noted that GiantX is not the only LEC team or esports team in general to use data. Fnatic, Vitality have used data in some cases too. I know a lot of other teams sometimes use data tools if they cannot make a choice. It really depends how much they use it, but it's definitely something that is used more and more to find players for teams. Or if you have two players and you don't really know which one to pick, sometimes you can use data to make the difference. I know some teams do this too. So yeah, GiantX not the only team doing it, but I would say maybe the most invested one, because they have actually bought and invested a lot in data. They have multiple people working for them in data specifically. So yes, remains to be seen if it works out for them, but will be interesting to follow.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to develop or even just like showcase or find some cool upcoming talent, maybe a little bit earlier than people or more accurately than people, that'll be very cool. And then I'm sure we'll see other teams follow suit. Obviously, it is an investment. I'm sure it takes tons of time and resources and money, and you have to hire the right people and you got to find the right company. And a ton of teams, it sounds like, are finding the best ways to allocate their budget and their resources and stuff like that right now. So I'm sure some teams will want to see just how accurate this stuff can be and see more proof of concept and stuff before they get too crazy into it. I know some people are more new school, some people are more old school. You have like the memes of like the virgin data user versus the Giga Chad eye test guy or whatever. So those debates are going on all over the world, traditional sports, esports, all that stuff. So I think that's kind of cool to see it in the LEC firsthand. And like I said, this is a big year to see how Lot and Jackie's are going to develop. Sounds like two exciting players and an exciting roster overall. And yeah, hopefully we'll be getting that jungle news very soon, because like I said, that's obviously going to be a big piece of this team. And it's the only spot left we have on this team. We want to fill out these rosters. We want to get these complete rosters out to people so we can start, going through power rankings and start, comparing the complete rosters and all that stuff. So hopefully that'll be cool if we do get it this weekend. Great. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I know I can't wait for that news though.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty. Anything else you guys have about GiantX? Any other, interesting stories, tidbits, ways they almost went, anything like that you guys want to throw out, or are we ready to move on?
No, I think you mentioned it all. There was another change also for GiantX with the head coach since they got Guilotto, but other than that, we just missed the last piece that will be the jungler.
Sounds good. Yeah. So that jungler news will be big. It'll be one of the last remaining pieces we have of the LEC. So we do have perhaps the biggest news of today coming up really quick. I did get a note real fast that they want to talk about some new features coming to the Sheep Esports website before we get into some of this bigger stuff. So hopefully that's all set up. Hopefully I'll let them take this away real quick. And then once we come back from this short little video introduction, we'll have some big news for you guys. So stay tuned for that in just a second. So who is the best community in all of esports? Well, that is what we are going to find out and what I'm hoping you guys will be able to prove. We are on the Sheep Esports website right now because we are very excited to be launching a new feature on our website. This is going to be the community leaderboard, which is going to be aiming to track who the most dedicated and engaged fans out there are. And hopefully later on down the road, we will actually be able to reward some of those fans and some of those very, very devoted fan bases. You're going to go up to the top right-hand corner and you're going to go to log in or sign up. If this is your first time, obviously you're going to be signing up for an account. It's going to look a little bit something like this. You're going to have to fill out your information, where after logging in, you're going to be able to choose who your favorite leagues are. So you can actually get news and things that are going to be the most relevant to you out of all of our articles and content and all that stuff. So I'm going to choose the LEC and the LCS, and I'm going to go next. Then it's going to actually ask you to choose who your favorite team is, who the teams and communities you are going to be representing are. And it talks a little bit about what we're doing here at Sheep Esports. We believe that every fan deserves a voice. That's why we've created the community leaderboard, a dynamic ranking system that rewards your engagement and loyalty to your favorite esports teams. Whether you're adding articles to your favorites, sharing content, or simply spending time on the site, every interaction counts towards your team's ranking and your personal standing in the community. So here are the ways you can earn points. There are points for adding an article to your favorites. If there is some spicy article that you really thought was like some crazy breaking news or something you were really excited about, you can always add that to your favorites so you can go back and see it or check it out later. You have 15 points for choosing your team at registration, 40 points for sharing articles on social media. You get some points for referring new users to join the community and build up that strong fan base. You get points for meaningful comments that you leave, adding to discussion, creating and adding to these communities that we're trying to build on the Sheep Esports website. And then you get points for every 5 minutes you spend actively browsing and interacting with the site as well. See here, we have all kinds of different teams, whoever your favorite is, depending on what league, whether you like ERLs or whether you like the LCK, there's going to be options for everybody. This is going to lead us to our community leaderboard, where we can actually see which teams and which fan bases are performing the best at the end of the day, which fan bases do show up for their team's news, for their team's articles, for those results, for those post-match breakdowns and all that good stuff, who actually are committed and sharing their team's articles and getting involved in those discussions and showing which fans are the most devoted and which fans are a part of that strongest community. Because we know esports is such a fun part because there's always amazing rivalries, whether it's NA and EU, whether it's the French community and the Spanish community, whether it's the LCK and LPL, or whether it's Team McDonald's against the world. This gives us a chance to track which fan bases not only have the most users joining them, but which ones are the most engaging and constantly coming back to the Sheep Esports community, which is going to be really cool as well. Hopefully I catch you guys on there. I know I'm going to be obviously taking full advantage of this feature and using it to its full potential, and hopefully showing my pride for Team McDonald's. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one, and hopefully I see you soon over on sheepesports.com.
And then I say to them.
You're on.
Tic-tac. 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 Faltan 12 días.
Oh, are we live?
Yes, you're on. You're on. They've been looking at you.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Well, okay, we have big news coming about Fnatic ADC. Because Fnatic have found their ADC. Well, I saw a lot of rumors already out, but it was not an obvious decision all the time, because Fnatic did also consider Korean ADCs into bot lane. But yes, as people have been expecting, upset will be joining Fnatic next year.
You're still the one on the screen. I don't know. Did you have more that you wanted to say or go into this, or on there, they're popping
no.
us all back over? No, like you said,
That's it.
obviously this isn't. This is something people have definitely been speculating and stuff about. It's been kind of like an open rumor and stuff out there, but obviously getting this thing finalized and getting this thing done is very cool and very exciting. Upset is a very, very big name, a talented player. All that stuff is going to be exciting. Obviously, a player that Fnatic fans are familiar with. So seeing him rejoin back to the organization and see what this second stint will be like is very exciting. And obviously losing Noah is going to be a big loss. I know a lot of fans wanted to hang on to him and really thought he was coming on strong in the second half of the season. But getting Upset as a replacement is something people should be excited about, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I can talk a little bit about Fnatic of season. Something that at the start, I mean, was not 100%, but they knew that if they had to change something, was the ADC. They allowed Noah to explore some options in the LCS days after they were eliminated from Worlds, as far as I know. I think all the time their plan was to keep top lane, jungler, and mid lane. Maybe they checked other options, but not with a really big desire to change the position, only to check the market, because maybe you can get something really cheap and can improve your team. And Upset, I mean, was an option. I know they also checked the market in Korea. They checked the options from LCS. I mean, from all the regions, to be honest. They wanted to be sure they were choosing something good for their team. So yeah. Finally, they locked Upset for ADC. I don't know if Ulu want to say something else.
Yeah, I think one thing worth noting, we talked about it already. Ice was also considered by Fnatic very early, very, very early, because Ice did lock with BDS before Fnatic arrived freely onto market, because Noah was only allowed to explore options afterwards, obviously. So Ice was not a player they could commit on before that, but it is a player that was considered. But other than that, Upset was the main option for Fnatic, but Fnatic was also not sure that John would be out of the team.
Yeah.
So that means they also looked at Korean ADCs to possibly pair with them. Now, be careful, because that doesn't mean the choice was not to have Upset if June stays, because there was also a possibility for Fnatic to have both June and Upset. That was a possibility too. In fact, negotiations with Upset were advancing well even before June was let go. So it was definitely a possibility, but they have decided to take Upset, who is also a former ADC of Fnatic, which is a player that they know already.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously the 2024 season maybe didn't go as well as Upset would have liked for him or K-Corp or anything like that, but now seeing him being able to return to Fnatic with what should be a pretty exciting roster. I know obviously they have like, we still haven't gotten to support information or anything like that just yet, but with the players they already have a very kind of veteran-laden roster, and a roster that is going to need to find some success. So, the fans, it seems like, are getting a little impatient with Fnatic and want to see some success and want to see, not just them making it to finals and losing to G2 and stuff like that, but actually, winning some championships, doing something at Worlds. So the expectations are going to be there for Fnatic and Upset. So it's kind of a team that has some stuff to prove, a player that has some stuff to prove, which with some motivation behind them could be a really good pairing for next season. And yeah, it's interesting to hear some of those other AD carry names that were thrown around there. I know in the video we had talked about like Hansam D and maybe guys like that being paired up with June as well. So it's interesting that they consider a bunch of options, but they end up on Upset, who is obviously a strong player. And like I said, something I think fans should be excited about.
Yes, yes, I fully agree. We go with the other one, Ulu, or we talk. Do you want to say anything else?
No, I'm good. I'm good for upset. I think Alejandro, it's your turn to reveal the support of Fnatic. I think we already know that the other one is into support position.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
okay.
The people have been waiting patiently. We got the Fnatic support news for you guys as well.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people can expect this move. To be honest, it's a move that I was not that sure. A lot of teams wanted him, and yeah, I mean, the support of Fnatic is going to be Mikix. I think it's already posted. For me, I think right now Fnatic is really strong. They improved their roster from last year. Mikix, GiantX was waiting for them. It was also the first option of SK. And he was not sure if he was going to compete, but what was sure for 100% is that if he go to one team was Fnatic. I think he prioritized the team since the start. I think Heretics couldn't go to offer him because they look at the really fast stand, but maybe they could so offer interest to Mikix too. And yeah, that's the team of Fnatic. I think is a really, really good roster. If maybe this year people is not that hype because Upset didn't perform that good. But if you ask 2 years ago about this roster, they will say it's top 1. So we will see what happened. But yeah, only for me, only Coats is left in Fnatic. I don't know if you have something to say, Will.
Yeah, as you said, the coaching staff of Fnatic will change. There will be very interesting changes in the coaching staff of Fnatic. So that remains the big news to share with Fnatic fans. Sadly, we cannot do so today because the news is not decided. But yeah, stay tuned. That will be the last news for Fnatic. But yeah, it's done. Now Upset and Mickey are locked with Fnatic. They have reached a verbal with Fnatic. It was not always an evidence either because, sorry, Mickey did have this contract with G2 still next year, and which was a rather huge contract. So it was not easy for Mickey to move and find a new team. Also, GiantX was a team that considered both Upset and Mickey together. I imagine you have this info, Alejandro, too.
Yeah.
With possibly like GiantX at first wanted Upset, Mickey, and even Yike into jungle. That would have been definitely a really interesting roster with Jackies and with Lot into top lane. Now they couldn't get them. Upset Mikix on their way to Fnatic. Well, at least it's allowed GiantX to pick up the former Fnatic bot lane. So at least they get rather good players out of it still. But yeah, Mickey considered by many teams during the off-season, but was a player that would be really hard to get. Maybe you have more details about this, Alejandro.
Yeah. Also, I want to clarify something because my info is not that Mikix Upset was the first priority of Giants. I don't know. I know they had 2 combos. One was Jun Noah and the other one Mikix Upset. I don't know which one was above. Maybe because Mikix was showing more interest to Fnatic than Giants, but I know they were. I mean, for example, Jake was a really high priority for Giants, but with Mikix, I didn't feel that was that the same priority that they were showing for Jake. So yeah, that's my information. And yeah, I think it's already done.
I mean, it was definitely a roster that GiantX would have wanted. Alejandro, tell me if you hear differently, because I think our information matched this way. I think it's definitely a roster Fnatic wanted, but obviously Mickey's upset would be hard to get. But I think
Yes.
if Mickey didn't have this huge contract, if upset didn't have this possibility of going Fnatic, I am quite confident that GiantX would have gone for it.
For Mikix, yes. For Upset, I am not sure. That's
Okay,
why
okay.
I was clarifying. I think Noah was also a high priority for
Yeah,
Giants.
okay, that's true. That's true.
Yes. So I am not sure.
Mhm.
Imagine that Mikix prefer to join Giants with Noah. I am sure they will get Noah over Upset. That's why I'm saying it. But yeah, I mean, yes, it was a priority. Mikix, I think he preferred to play with Upset than with Noah. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, that matches my info because I had also heard that Noah was a possibility with Mickey in GiantX. So yeah, very good point.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things from this as well is that obviously Fnatic has a good and strong bot lane coming in with Upset and Mickey, and I know people have kind of been excited about them pairing up for a long time. But also at the same time, Fnatic already had a strong bot lane, so I know there's fans that are going to be wondering, like, is changing our bot lane going to be what fixes Fnatic for 2025? Because like a lot of people are like, oh, June and Noah are really good. They were the strong bot lane. Upset and Mickey are also good, but are they going to be so much better? Are they going to bring something new to the team? Are they going to add something new? And it's possible they could. So that'll be interesting, I think, for 2025. But also at the same time, their bot lane leaving and now going to GiantX, that's another strong bot lane that's out in the LEC that they're going to have to be directly competing against as well. So I think there's kind of a couple layers to this move that are actually pretty interesting. How good are Upset and Mickey going to be together? Is that actually going to help Fnatic? And then how are they going to do, taking on their bot lane that they already built up over the course of 2024 somewhere else in the LEC? So a lot of interesting and cool storylines that we'll get to see play out next year for sure. So I think this move is interesting on multiple levels.
Yeah, for sure. And regarding Fnatic, one question we had a lot too on social media or on my own stream was why it took so long, because suddenly we have a lot of information today. We also had June recently, but the market has been blocked this week and last week, while everything went so quickly before that. It's because a lot of teams were waiting on this move from Fnatic, because, for example, SK they wanted John, which means they wouldn't secure their bot lane before knowing what Fnatic does. Same with GiantX, because they wanted Noah, they were interested in John 2, and they got John 2. So that's why Fnatic was blocking the market, and Fnatic was taking their time because, again, it was not easy to get Mikix. The Mikix and Fnatic situation got really stuck for a long moment. So as long as that was not going into good direction, John was the player to stay on Fnatic.
Yeah, I know that's definitely something a lot of people were curious about, because it's like, hey, we know that Mickey and Upset have been playing solo queue together, and it seems like, especially once we saw Noah and June both leave, oh, now Fnatic has this bot lane opening. Like, why are you guys messing with us? Why are you guys trolling us? Why are you guys not bringing this news to us? A lot of people were expecting this move, and they were just like, hey, why is this thing not final? Why are we not bringing it to you guys? So I know that's something people were maybe a little bit confused about or frustrated with or whatever. So I'm glad we could bring those updates and hopefully a little bit more explanation to it, because there's always, these things are complex. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that have to be figured out. And even if it seemed very likely to get done or like it was headed that direction, sometimes you still got to wait a little bit. And this is still very early in the offseason. The World's Finals hasn't even taken place yet. It's not like, we're waiting forever and ever and ever. It might seem like a long time, especially when you want to hurry up and get this news out. But we're still early in the offseason. So we're still getting, all the info and trying to be as thorough and official and everything as we can out to you guys as soon as we can. So we're not ever messing with you guys. We're not ever trolling you. We're not ever holding on to stuff. So I do think that's kind of funny as well, that people, maybe had some of those ideas and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And as you say, there's still a lot to go for off-season. However, for LEC, now that the Fnatic roster is done, GiantX is almost done. They get the bot lane. SK Gaming, same thing. The only big question left is Rogue, and as we explained, Rogue still cannot make offers to players because it's no secret today they have those discussions to sell to Spot, and as long as this is not finalized, as long as Rogue don't know whether they sell to Spot or not, they cannot make any offers, regardless of which organization will be fielding that roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, like you said, just when we pull up the transfer hub, that's the big question now. We see so much stuff filled in, and then you just have Rogue kind of sitting there chilling, trying to figure things out. Yeah, any kind of updates or any new information or whatever? I know some people have talked about what if they can't get the deal done? What does their offseason look like? Budget, maybe some updates like that. I don't know. Is there anything? Obviously, we're still waiting, and we don't have anything huge yet to bring, but any kind of new like information or tidbits or anything for people?
Yeah, so obviously with the Fnatic move now, Mickey and Upset not possible to Rogue. They were considered by Rogue. They have had the discussions with Rogue, but Rogue cannot make offers, as I said. So yes, if you are Mickey X, if you are Upset, you don't really want to bet on Rogue. That still sees a lot of uncertainty. So it makes sense that but I was going to say other good profiles in the LC want to lock themselves elsewhere. So this is a complicated situation for Rogue's off season because there's not many players left. Yes, you have the McDonald's team, you have GiantX, who is still free to pick up, but now that the best profiles are out, it will be really difficult to convince GiantX to join. Also because GiantX is not the cheapest player. So if Rogue don't get the deal, probably not realistic. We'll have to see. But into bot lane, Rogue will have to seek for newer options now. Upset Megix, impossible. Hans Samdi, we talked about it yesterday. Is going to LFL. He was an option for Fnatic, but Samdi also had discussions with Rogue, so that's another option that's gone. Many other options are gone from Rogue, so very, very difficult for them to find players. What I can say is that now Rogue is exploring options in Korea. They are talking with a lot of players in Korea. So because off season in LCK and LPL is always so late, luckily Rogue still have players that can be available to pick up in the Asian region, but it will be difficult to find any top profiles in Europe left. I would like to give more info, but I myself wonder how they will figure it out, because you can only have 2 imports on the team. If you cannot have GiantX, who do you get? Because ERLs, even tier 2 in Europe, is starting to be locked down. So you only have so many options left. It's possible that Rogue managed to have some good Korean profiles, some of the best players that are left over on the market, but it seems complicated. And if they cannot do that, maybe the roster will be very different. So remains to be seen. In the top lane, it's not impossible that Finn is out, but as we know, the only player that's secured on the roster right now is Larson.
Yeah, and I can only imagine. No, you're good. You can go.
I have a question for you, Ulu. Do you think some players can break verbal agreements with their teams to go rogue? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, a verbal agreement is a verbal agreement, So,
yeah. I mean, I think if Rogue, I think it's possible, but I think that would only happen if Rogue sell to Spot, and then this new organization come in and they want to spend a ton. Then yeah, if you want to convince some ERLs players, maybe some other players in the LCS who are under verbal agreements, maybe you can. Technically, you can even still buy out a contract of any player at any time right now. So in theory, it's possible. No, the thing is, all teams now consider that their roster is done.
Yeah.
So it will be very hard, because if you do that as Rogue, you will make a lot of enemies if you do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think it's really difficult because they will find finally something in Korea for bot lane or something like this. But if they don't have other chance, like they have to try it. You know, I will understand their position. So yeah, we will see. I think it's really early. Like first, they need to solve what is happening with the spot. Oh.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can still wait before we get Rogue roster moves. So that will be interesting. But I doubt any player leaves their roster to go to Rogue. Nowadays, a lot of verbal agreements include a sign. You do have to sign some sort of form.
Yes.
That you will sign a contract later, basically. So, like, even if it's called verbal agreement, it's not just verbally saying yes. It's actually you are signing that you will sign a contract later. Obviously, legally, it doesn't hold as much value as an actual contract. So technically, you can break it, but still, not ideal. And yeah, the thing is, all teams, all players do consider that rosters are locked down. Some teams are even preparing to scrim next month, to go on bootcamp next month. So yeah, I think it will be very difficult. I think Rogue will mostly aim for players that are still available in Korea and maybe leftovers in Europe. Who is leftover? Jankos, Finn, Adam, but he doesn't seem to be their option. Photon. Who else do you have? You have Patrick in ADC who is still available. So maybe they can mix some of those players, but yeah, it's looking difficult, and maybe there's even a world where those players find that team too. So then who do you have left?
Yeah, and even talking about like imports and stuff like that, I can only imagine what those conversations are like, being like, hey, do you want to leave your home country and come over to Europe? Like, we don't know what's going on with the organization. We don't know what's going on with our budget and everything, but like, it seems like it would be like a really big risk for some kind of, Korean player to come, like even verbally accept an agreement on Rogue right now to come into some situation that might be, just really, really up in the air. Like, that seems like a really, really tough pitch. So, if it's hard to pitch to even the European players, I can only imagine, pitching to other people to come move and uproot your whole life and all that. So seems like they're definitely in a difficult situation. Obviously, I don't think any of us expected it was going to take this long or drag out this far. So things are only, I'm sure, getting more complicated by the day.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Rogue, the only team left where we still have to share news of in the LEC, other than GiantX Jungler, which should be done really soon. So yeah, keep that in mind. We will update you once there is news, but yeah, for now, Rogue still very much on hold.
Yeah, man, and obviously it's been a crazy LEC offseason so far. We've done a ton of work. I know you guys have been going crazy behind the scenes trying to figure all this out. Look at how many different reports and how many different moves and everything we've been able to get locked in. This has been very, very crazy. Definitely super proud and super happy of all the work you guys have been doing. This has been absolutely insane. We're not done yet, but it's already been a crazy offseason, and today's only November 1st, which is just insane. So yeah, kind of wrapping up some of the LEC stuff there. I know we had talked previously about a little too, maybe circling back to the LCS and talking about why their offseason has been slowing down a little bit. I didn't know if you wanted to chime in with any more LCS stuff, or if you had any updates about maybe why the LCS has been slower, or why things are kind of, trending in the direction they are.
Yeah, so as we said at the beginning of the stream, mostly we were waiting on teams to be confirmed. Yeah, LCS will start moving very soon. I think we'll have updates about it this weekend or next week.
Yeah, sounds good. So obviously LEC fans have definitely been spoiled so far, but hopefully the LTAN fans, as Arsha is saying in the chat, there's always going to be somebody correcting us and saying all that stuff. Hopefully that news will be coming out very, very soon as well. But yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, happy and proud of all the stuff we've been able to get out to you guys. I think today was a very, very big day in terms of still being able to get some of that exciting news out to you guys, even though we are so far along in the offseason. Definitely can't wait to see all the discussion and breakdowns and everything about people talking about the new rosters and the Fnatic updates. And like I said, the next step is going to be, putting together those power rankings and putting together those predictions for next year and what are going to be the moves that work out and don't and all that stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun to start speculating about how these rosters are going to start actually functioning together now that we're starting to fill in some of those names and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll be doing another show for LTA specifically to reveal some of those. So stay tuned definitely.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait for that. I know there's a lot of fans that have been asking for stuff like that and waiting for stuff like that, and I think that'll be fun and exciting and something that they've been very, very patient for. So I can't wait for that. Maybe there'll be some more leaks and technical difficulties and all that stuff that hopefully we'll get figured out in that one. Today was definitely funny. Hopefully, we tried our best to work through it good, but I know sometimes it can be good to get some of those laughs and memes out as well. No matter what, we don't want to take anything too seriously, but obviously at the end of the day, we are working hard to get all this stuff out as well, and hopefully you guys appreciate the hard work and effort that's being put into all this stuff, because I can tell you guys, being able to see it from behind the scenes, there's so many people working so hard, and this stuff is crazy. It is a crazy time with how busy they are, and even being able to take the time out of their day to do a stream and stuff like this is really big. So I appreciate you guys for that stuff for sure.
Yeah, so as you say, I think we can end the stream here, and me and Alejandro will go back to working on whichever moves are being decided right now.
Sounds good. We know a bunch of people are waiting for you guys to, get those leak fasters or whatever. We saw a ton of that in the chat. We saw a ton of people spamming that all over the place. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for tuning in. I know we did, I think, want to talk about the Sheep Esports website a little bit more really quick as we wrap things up. So I think we're going to get that set up here in a second. Obviously, those new features coming in soon are going to be very, very cool and exciting, kind of a new era and new chapter for that Sheep Esports website. I think there's some features that I'm excited about as well. Not only do we have the community leaderboard stuff coming, where you're going to be able to sign up on the website, register, show who your favorite fan base is. You're going to get points for just spending time on the site, for sharing articles. Also, we're adding like the comment section where you get points for sharing comments and adding to discussion, which is going to be very, very cool. So being able to add some of that engagement and building of the community to the Sheep Esports fan base, but also to all the esports fans out there, because we're going to have a ton of those rivalries this season. We have the LEC rivalries, we have NAEU, we've got the West against the East, all that different stuff, and giving people an opportunity to share who their favorite teams are, who their favorite players are. It's going to be a way for us to present information that's going to be the most relevant to you, by picking your favorite leagues, your favorite teams, players, all of that good stuff. So some nice quality of life improvements, I do think, coming to the Sheep Esports website. A lot of stuff to be excited about for the future, and it'll be something interesting to follow and track to see who those most engaging fan bases are, who that most passionate fan base is, and that'll definitely be something fun and interesting to follow the whole rest of the way. So make sure you guys go check out the Sheep Esports website. Again, sheepesports.com. This stuff should be live, up and running right now. Definitely go take advantage of it. I know I'm going to be on there, trying to build up points for my favorite teams and stuff. Hopefully you guys will be doing that as well. Of course, as always, did want to talk about Holy a little bit as well. Everything we're doing, powered by Holy, great tasting energy drinks, healthier than the competition, and we got some awesome discount codes for you guys as well, so definitely check all that out. They're making all this possible so we can provide the best off-season worlds and just coverage in general out to you guys. But yeah, pretty much it for today. Hopefully we catch you guys real soon on YouTube, Twitter, the website, all over the place, and we'll see you guys soon. Take it easy and take care.